these closers, these Memphis do it again, man. Luka and Kyrie close out the Timberwolves in the fourth quarter yet again. And another sensational performance from the both of them. PJ Washington hit the quote-unquote biggest shot of the night, as always, as he always comes through in the corner, in the clutch, in this postseason. And the Mavs take a commanding 3-0 lead, just as we all suspected, right? Obviously, Nas Reed said, if anyone can do it, it's them, and I believe him. Hey, I mean, somebody's surely gonna one day do it, right? Somebody's surely one day gonna come back from 3-0 down in the NBA, so why not these Timberwolves? But obviously, it's not looking great. And they tried everything they can on Luka, but I think at the end of the games, you should just double team him. Honestly, I don't know, man. Um, it's just I don't know, man. I feel like the coaching has not been optimal in the fourth quarters. There has not been enough adjustments for Luka in the fourth quarters. Overall, they did throw like everything at him, right? They switched, they blitzed him, they double teamed him, they trapped him, and he can make a pass out of anything. So that is that. But I still feel like down the stretch they're letting Dallas get away with too many one-on-ones at the end of the day for these comfortable one-on-one closers at the end of the day. And it was Ant-Man who had a great, not sure if a great game is the right word, but he had his best game in this series, right? And he had a good game overall. But he fell asleep on the PJ Washington 3, which he's he's a great on-ball defender, but the off-ball stuff can be quite tricky, right? Yeah, so there's that. And like I feel like the Mavericks are just too comfortable at the end of the day, and maybe I guess that's the part where the big men don't play as much advantage because none of them can contain obviously Luka. I mean, there's not many big men that can, right? But they're just not mobile enough in these pick and rolls. Whether it's Karl Anthony Towns, whether it's Rudy Gobert, they're just not they're just not uh, they're just too slow at the end of the day. And maybe you should play more Nas Reed because Big Cat has really shit the bed. So they did today instead of Rudy. Uh, Nas was okay. Okay, he was really good again. He just couldn't hit the three ball. But I don't know, man. What could you do, right? The way Lucas just unbothered by the length is crazy, right? That's why I talked about the matchups being just really right for him. And I don't know, man. You just gotta double team him right. However that is done might be, the, just the question that they will not be able to find answers to, and that's why they will lose the series, right? Because Lucas the best player in this series, and that's a problem, obviously. And when Kyrie's also going, right, it's tough. And Mike Conley couldn't stand in front of him, uh, and has not been able to do anything about Kyrie. So that's tough, right? Maybe Jaden McDaniels could have done better, but there's the foot speed advantage. I don't know, man. I don't know. But the Timberwolves are running out of sorts, right? Maybe you should just play Kyle Anderson the whole game, honestly, because he's been fucking hitting everything. He's been sensational for them, which is kind of crazy. Um, but not surprising. And you gotta give props to Mike Conley. I think he, offensively has shown up because the defense is not there anymore. Maybe it is there, but it's just not enough against these guys at the end of the day, and that's the problem, right? But offensively, he has been appropriately aggressive, and I would say that's huge. And obviously, the biggest issue, like I kept talking about every game, right? Your best players have to show up, and Anthony Edwards has been widely inconsistent and bad flat out in the first two games, and the turnovers have been a huge problem for him. Uh, and he didn't touch the ball or barely touched the ball in the fourth quarter for whatever reason, or at least it felt like that to me, that he didn't get enough touches in the fourth quarter. Whether that was his fault or the team's fault or the coach's fault, I don't fucking know, right? But he just didn't touch the ball enough for my liking. And then you have Karl Anthony Towns who can't fucking shoot in this series, so that's tough. And his drives have been just fucking weird all series long. He's been driving like a madman. And yeah, if you're, that's the growing pain of for these two players at the end of the day, right? And this experience should help them move forward. I think Karl Anthony Towns has shown you enough in these playoffs overall, right? But And I'm rooting for Cat, which is why I'm so sad that he's having such a bad performance as TNT Crew said, bad kitty. Oh, for fuck's sake, man. Which is why I'm sad about it, right? And that's just stuff. But shout out to Dallas, man. I think Jason Kidd has totally outcoached Chris Finch and Nore, or I'm forgetting the assistant. I'm thinking it's Nore, right? Or More, or something like that. I think he has outcoached them, right? The Mavs have done a better job overall, exposing exposing. I mean, obviously you have Luka and Kyrie just doing their thing, but the lobs have been perfect. The rotations for the big men have been great. He did a good move with Hardy, who I think has been a really good, third ball handler for this team. I think it's Dante Exum shitting the bed with Tim Hardaway just being awful, right? And then you just have these scrappy guys who just do a little bit of everything at the end of the day, right? And Daniel Gafford had an awful night until the fourth quarter where he came through, right? In the fourth quarter, Daniel Gafford showed up, and that's when you needed him the most at the end of the day. And then you have Luka and Kyrie just torturing them. No matter what they throw at them, the Mavs have a counter, whether that is obviously just Luka's brilliance or some bit of coaching. I think it's a mixture of both at the end of the day, right? But I mean, it's mostly Luka's just brilliance and knowing how to dissect the defense so well, and he can make, like I said, any pass. Even though today he had 3 turnovers, 5 assists, but he set up so many great plays for others. But the one thing that was, of course, rough for Dallas was the Derek Lively injury, which fucking scared the shit out of me, man. Yeah, I love Derek Lively, as you know, if you are watching this channel, at least somewhat regularly. And it made me really sick. But we'll see if he'll be able to play in Game 4. I mean, they're up 3-0, so maybe they will be able to get one more game without him, hopefully, right? And he can be ready for the finals. Or I mean, if you lose Game 4, Game 5, ready for Game 6. We'll see. But it was fucking, yeah, it was tough. And obviously they had to give Dwight Powell some minutes. He looked rusty as hell, which makes sense, right? Um, and then obviously with Lively out, with Lively being out for the game, the Timberwolves finally, were able to get to the paint. They were able to attack relentlessly in the third quarter with those White Powell minutes and even the Gafford minutes, because he wasn't great overall in the first 3 quarters. And Anthony Edwards, like I said, got going there, and it felt like, hey, maybe this is their moment. Maybe they can get back into this series, but uh, the late game execution has just been so much better for Dallas at the end of the day. Mike Conley, tough 3 ball. Could he have made it? Obviously. Then Luka with that fadeaway, but I keep saying, like, comfortable at the end of the day. Then some tough turnovers. Towns just not being able to do anything right. Kyrie once again goes and just does magic. I know they make tough shots, right? But that's their bread and butter. That's where they're the most comfortable at the end of the day. And I don't know, man. Maybe there's just nothing they can do right now until and just get the learning experience for Cat and Edwards, and hope they can regroup next year. Um, I don't know, man. Maybe you could overreact and move Towns and start Nas Reed, but I think that would be a huge overreaction because Towns has overall had a really great playoffs. Um, um, Subpar effort once again, man. Poor Cat. Where are his playoff stats for this season? 18 points. He's been shooting 45% from the field, so the numbers don't look that great at the end of the day. But I think that's just this series, unfortunately. Um, Obviously skewing them down. Um, we'll see, man. We'll see what happens with Cat. But yeah, that's it for me. Game 6 of the Pacers Celtics game today. I don't think Tyrese will be playing, but they might roll him out there because it's obviously the possible last game of the season. And I'll be here to cover it as always. It's a shame that series lost all its juice, right? But I still, like I said, am impressed with the Pacers. I'll be here to cover it as always. Be kind, trust, and to others. And come on, show me something, Edwards. Okay, that was a horrible rhyme. Anyway, stand in your morals, love yourselves as much as possible, be empathetic, and yeah,